Hey guys, welcome to chessroots.com. Today in this next live video I'm going to show you a game played between Svidler and Magnus Carlsen in Fide candidates 2013. So you have Svidler is black, Svidler is white and Carlsen is black. E4, E5, Knight F3, Knight C6, Bishop B5, A6. This is a standard royal page. Bishop A4, Knight F6. Castle shot, Bishop E7. I'll go through the line pretty quick and fast because we have already so many times on this royal page standard position. So here Svidler played A4. This A4 D3 line we used to see when players trying to avoid a Marshall gambit. The standard move like C3 will lead to move like D5 after Knight A5. So let us see after A4, B4, Knight BD2, castles, A5, Bishop B6. So this A5 is pretty like forced because now black will threaten a move like A5 and trying to activate this bishop to A6 or even B7. Even Knight A5 is also possible. So there are many threats too. So white have to play A5 to prevent them. Bishop E6. So in this position the move like Bishop G4 is not that much good. Let us see, for example, after castles he played A5, Bishop E6. So instead of Bishop E6, if let us see a move like Bishop G4. So Bishop G4, white can simply play Knight C4 or even Rook E1, Knight F1 and Knight G3. Later he can play H3. This bishop will be forced to take on this F3 or you have to go back to G6, which is pretty bad. After H3 and G4, black will have a strong F5 square. So this bishop on G4 really don't have any use. So Bishop E6 is a natural developing square, and also to exchange the bishop on B3. Knight C4, Svidler don't want to exchange the bishop. So now he is planning to play a move like Knight E3 maybe. Rook B8. Rook B8 is very interesting. I haven't seen this move long time back, but this is very having a good idea, because at one or other point white should try to play a move like D4, which is now not possible immediately because the E4 pawn is not supporting. Maybe after Rook E1 he can try to play a move like D4. To play D4 he needs to play C3. So once if you play a move like C3, black can simply open up B into C3 and take control of the B file with his rook on B8. So pretty prophylactic move, very interesting. Not just reducing this white momentum. So C3. Now C3 is immediately C3 is mistake, because just now he came Rook B8. Now he wants to occupy the open file. So C3 is not that much needed in this position. The moves like maybe Bishop G5, Knight E3 and Knight F5 could have tried a move like Bishop G5 and Knight E3 to D5 or F5. This is a standard looking plan, but C3 simply cannot play the D4. So there is no point of playing C3 in this position. After C3 he will simply capture B into C, and there is no D4 because of Knight into E4. And if you push D5 you can take Knight into C3, Knight into C3 and Knight into D5. So also it's a little bad. So the point of C3 is pretty slow, I think. H6, Carlsen is just not allowing Bishop G5 or even the moves like Knight G5 is very dangerous. Rook E1, supporting this E4. queen c8, a very good idea. Now see, this moves like queen c8 will really lead black into a very good position. One will think that there will be no idea for this queen c3, but if you look closely at this position, queen c8 is uh, a pretty good move, because of black really now in this position black cannot afford to commit anything unless white have fixed something in the center. So moves like queen c8 just allowing to play this other rook to d8, and maybe he wants to push d5, take control of the d file and the x-ray attack on the d1 queen. So queen c8, a very logical continuation, and also this move really prevents the moves like h3 sometimes, because of bishop into h3 is also a threat. So maybe you cannot take bishop into h3 right now, but there is a threat of taking. So just queen c8 is a very good, interesting prophylactic move. Bishop c2. When I was watching this live game, I thought bishop c2 is a very horrible move. After analyzing for a few minutes, and then I thought bishop c2 was okay, little dubious, but not that much accurate move. See, white keep on going the pieces back and not even doing the things what he was supposed to do. So here in this position, I think bishop bc2 is a little bad. Instead of, you can try a move like maybe bishop back to a2 or something else. Okay, bishop c2, rook d8, black continues his plan. Queen e2. Okay, fine. Now queen e2, the idea is to support this knight on c4 indirectly after pushing the move like d4. So, and also taking out the queen from the x-ray attack. And there is one more threat, that is after playing a move like d5, black so black is getting an x-ray attack on this e7 piece, which is pretty hard to see, not by many grandmasters. I think bishop a4, bishop a4, and remove this knight, and d4. If you capture d into e4, c into, you can play a move like e5 and open this bishop. And regarding that, there is one more threat. I hope you can see. Let me clear these arrows first. Okay, and there is one more threat, that is to play knight e3, and to play knight f5. See, to prevent knight f5, we need to play a move like g6. But if you play a move g6 at this point, this will go. So there is a multiple idea for white, even playing a calm move like queen e2. So bishop f8, removing from the pin and supporting this h6. If you play a move like knight e3, you can simply challenge with g6. So a good move, a good calm waiting move, bishop f8. And knight e3 was played in the game, so he can play knight d5 or knight f5. Knight d5 is not possible. So now white is strongly threatening black not to give the move like d5. So d5, to play that move you have to play c4, and if once c4 is committed in this position, I think white will be fine later, because maybe the bishop weakness of c2 is very bad, but he can play a move like bishop a4 and try to activate this bishop on and at least he can get a 1 or 2 pieces on this side and with bishop a4. And this bishop on e6 really don't have any good square, and this rook on d8 is very bad if there is no d5. So white is trying to play a move like c4, even bishop g4 is not big threat for white. So knight e3 is a logical continuation, so white have to react something very fast. So d5, as I feel this is the only move, at least to try something for black from black side. So after d5, e into d5 forced to take, knight into d5, knight into d5, rook into d5. When I was watching this live game, I thought of white will play a move like c4, immediately gains the pawn on e5, but the move like rook into a5 really not that much good, because after rook into a5, knight into a5, he can simply capture knight into e5. These two pawns are a little dangerous, and once after white played a move like d4, these two bishops are pretty dangerous for white. So, and this knight went to a corner where it really don't have any good square. So I thought of c4 is a good move, but later I saw some compensation by playing rook e8, knight into e5, and knight d4, not allowing white to play d4. And if you play move like queen d1, moves like bishop b4 will also come, but simply you can play c5, preventing every counter of black, and knight c6 is also no support by the queen. So here he can simply play more like bishop d6 now. This pawn on d3 and bishop on c2 are enough for the compensation of the pawn. Now black will have a good initiative in this position. Even moves like g6 and bishop g7 is also very good in this long diagonal. So we can see that black is having good compensation. So okay, here after rook into c5, Svidler just ignored that and played h3. So after h3, bishop f5, attacking the weakness of d3. Now black gets a good initiative on the attack. Rook d1 supporting, and queen e6 supporting this e5, and also trying to double this rook on the d file, which is pretty good move. Bishop b1 now is threatening bishop a2, a small threat. So queen d7. If you play bishop a2, we can capture move like rook into d3. So bishop e3. Now e4. A simple tactical end game whereby black is clearly better. Svidler just missed this. From here, black simply went to a clear advantage position. So let us see how. If he cannot capture d into e4, so you have to play knight d4, which is the only move. Knight into d4, bishop into d4, e into d3, bishop into d3, bishop into d3, rook into d3. Everything is pretty forced. c5, and bishop e5 is also forced, because if you play any other move, this rook on d3 is lost. Now rook into d3. Rook into d3 is forced. Bishop into b8 is forced. c4. This is an excellent positional move. Even at the move of 29, Carlsen is just not relaxing and playing the accurate moves. Maybe sometimes if you blunder and take a move like rook into c3, which will be a big mistake. After queen into a6, this pawn is pretty dangerous now for black. So, and this rook is supporting this pawn very strongly and is ready to push this pawn till a8. And c4 also allows black bishop to jump onto c5, which is very good, and you can threaten more like rook d2 and attack the f2. Sorry, let's keep this arrows as right. Okay, so bishop e5 is now threatening to play bishop d4 and fixes bishop c5, not allowing bishop d4. Rook b1, queen d5, keeping a small threat like bishop into f2. King into f2 is lost with rook d2, or queen into f2 is lost with queen into e5. So rook b8 check, king h7, queen h5, and queen f5 is threatened, and also queen into f7. So queen e4 threatening queen, supporting this. And if you capture queen into f7, you can simply play a move like rook d1 check, and queen into e5 with a check, loses the game. So rook b2 forced, or else he is simply threatening a move bishop into f2. After king into f2, rook d2 check. Let us see if he plays a move like no need, simple, because white really don't have any good moves here. Bishop into f2, king into f2, rook d2 check, and queen g2 will be mating soon. So rook b2 and rook d5 pinning this queen on h5. Rook e2, queen b1 check, king h2, and f6 loses the piece. Here svidler just resigned the game in view of this pieces lost. So this was a pretty good positional game played by Magnus Carlsen in the candidates tournament. Hope you enjoyed this game. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave comments. See you in the next video. Bye.